And we're back. You are listening to KAOP AM 1045, Seattle's hottest AM radio station. This is Accents on Purpose. My name is Danny. Usually at this moment you would be introduced to Joseph, but Joseph went to the Capitol Hill block party and got a horrible case of sunburn. He is right now at Harborview just covered in live aloe plants, and so he will be joining us next week. Now, I know that all the fans of Accents on Purpose really love listening to punk music on AM radio, but it's not just music. There's so much more. There's so much more of a lifestyle, and there's so many things that have been tested and time over and over again have always been essential. And the internet can come and go, and people can start doing blogs, but fanzines are always going to be very important. And I'm really happy that a couple months ago, 3 months ago, 4 months ago, how many months ago?
Yeah, it was in, I think May? Late April, early May.
An amazing fanzine dropped on Seattle. And I'm very happy to not only have the creator and publisher of it, but his soon-to-be distributor of it.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Absolutely.
Good Person Records, Disruptor fanzine.
Absolutely.
So why don't you folks introduce yourself, say what you do, and...
Yeah, my name is Lucas Reif. I'm the creator and publisher of Disruptor.
Ian Curtis Christ. Do you want me to talk about what I do in life?
I would just introduce what you
do for Good Persons.
Well, you know what? We'll get back to you. You should introduce yourself.
Okay. I'm Erica Miller. I work with Good Person Recordings.
So let's start off with you because this was initially about you. And so, how did you come to start publishing the fanzine?
Disruptor basically started out as projects for my studio art class in high school. I didn't really know what else to work on for my concentration throughout the year, and I love punk music. I love making stuff, graphic design, print media. I figured that was kind of the perfect culmination of my interests. So I explored that. I connected with Aiden Fitzgerald from Minneapolis. She runs Cold Cube Press, which is a risograph printing studio here in Seattle.
Been on the show a few times as well.
Yeah.
Up until this point, was the first person to be on twice.
Wow.
Except for Erica. No, Mike Pally was on twice too. Now Erica is the third person to be on twice.
Carrying the torch.
Number 3.
A lot of pressure there. But so, let's go back. So what made you decide to make the fanzine? Was it meeting Aiden, or was it?
There was definitely an interest in using the risograph format to create the zine once I met Aiden and learned about what he was doing.
So for people that don't know what the fuck that is, which I think would be
a lot of people have been asking
89% of our listeners, why don't you explain what it is? First, spell it out so people.
Yeah. So risograph, RISOGRAPH. Yeah, you got it. Is I'm still a little unclear on how it works.
Yeah, what is a risograph?
Yeah, I still don't even really know.
So it's basically like an old Japanese printing company. Mm-hmm. They don't make these things anymore, but it looks like a Xerox printer. Basically, the gist of how it works, I think, is it's kind of like screen printing. So you scan an image in and it gets burned onto a sheet, like a transparency sheet, and then that gets rolled over an ink drum to press the ink onto the paper, basically. And because it can do that at really high speeds, it's pretty efficient for printing a lot of things, and it also has this kind of cool grainy look to it.
Yeah.
And yeah, the colors and ink look really cool coming out of that thing. So there's kind of this niche market for risograph printing now. They just make the ink now. They don't make the actual type of printer anymore. So
what happens when it breaks?
Yeah, that happened when we were making this.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I went in one day, to drop these things off. Yeah. And he was finishing up some other order, and I'm standing there waiting for him to finish something up, and he's leaned over the printer, and all of a sudden I hear a loud clank. And he's like, "Fuck!" And there's black ink all over his hands and all over the printer. Oh my god!
Yeah, total mess.
He's yes.
So wait, what do you do at that point? Are you wow, I just realized my parking meter is up, and they need to go buy a bus pass.
It's not even that. It was more a personal thing. He was yo, this order might take a bit longer. The printers just broke, so it's good thing he's got 2 now, and they're up and running pretty good.
2 of them.
Oh damn!
He has 2 of them. Yeah,
up in the game.
I wonder if he's named them. This is Clarice and this is Samuel.
Oh yeah.
Wouldn't put that past Aiden.
I wonder how long it takes to get that ink off here. Is it just regular? What kind of ink
It's
is
a
it?
soy-based ink.
Oh.
Soy-based is vegan friendly.
Yeah, you can eat it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Supplement your diet.
Oh,
Tastiest zine in Seattle.
Tastiest zine in Seattle. I believe that. So I'm sorry. Getting back to my original question. So is it that you decided that you wanted to make a fanzine and you saw this printing style and you're like, oh wow, this is awesome, or you saw the printing style and you're like, fuck man, I want to make a fanzine?
No, it's definitely like I needed something to do for this art class.
Yeah.
I was like, I can't paint, so might as well do something I'm like into.
Were you required to take this art class?
No, I mean I'm into graphic design and
Okay.
It's something to do.
Okay.
Something to do that's not like other shit. So
Let's check and see why you took an art class. You
Yeah,
didn't
totally.
paint and didn't want to paint.
yeah.
Why is it in the assumption that whenever anybody talks about art classes, like they talk about painting? What does everybody's brain
no,
think?
Fine
because
arts.
wait, hold on. He said I needed a project and I couldn't paint.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Why does everybody?
No, like I
mind
didn't
go?
want to paint.
Yeah.
Because I'm just like I'm
Not a painter?
Yeah, I'm not a painter.
You're a fucking fanzine
Yeah.
distributor, creator.
So, what was the first fanzine that you ever saw?
I had seen stuff around that time. James Stancielli, I think is how it's pronounced, from Fresno, puts out this Bad Vibes Brigade stuff that had kind of left an impression on me that was cool. Just stuff I'd seen around the internet mainly. I hadn't actually gotten too into like local fanzines in the Seattle punk scene before this, but like after putting this out, I've started like trading around with a lot of people, you included, and that's kind of like opened me up to like a lot of different local stuff. So that's been interesting for sure.
How did you come up with like the format?
The format, I knew I wanted to like interview people.
Yeah.
For sure, because that's not only a way to like make other people's voices heard, but also like just get to know people. Like I found that that's just like a good way to like foster new relationships.
Why the fuck do you think I do this podcast?
Yeah.
Tight.
When I applied for this at KAOP AM 1045.
What does it stand for?
KAOP, do they have to stand for anything?
I don't know. Sometimes they come up with quirky
What
little...
does KUOW stand for? What does KEXP stand for?
You tell me.
No, I don't know. I'll find out if it stands for anything. It might stand for like K, which all western half of the country radio stations start with K and Eastern starts with W. I do know that.
Weird.
Yeah, all the like WFMU.
Gotcha. Yeah.
I forget why they did that, but they did that for some reason. West side of the country, K is East side W, and then AOP, accents on purpose. I know some people don't like to capitalize the O's or the thes, but you know, no matter how many letters you have in your word, we're happy that you're there.
Yeah.
But anyway, so yes, interviewing people. Did you come up with a list of bands that you wanted to interview, or?
Not. I mean, yes and no. They were kind of like there was kind of a short list, I guess, but it was also just people that like had cool shit going on that I was intrigued by. Like in this first issue, I interviewed Ian and Chad Buckley from Lysol. Chad was just someone I looked up to, and he had like a lot of cool shit going on. So I was like, yeah, this would be someone cool to interview. Same with Ian.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah. So.
He didn't interview me. I don't think he cares about me. I'm not that cool.
Centerfold.
Oh yeah.
And then so the photographs in it are just I mean, they're fucking amazing.
Incredible.
Yeah.
I mean,
The fucking cover of that first issue is insane.
Yeah.
That's like that's as good as any classic, like punk photo of any legendary.
Yeah.
Punk
I mean,
icon.
I've said this several times, but when I first saw it, I saw it. I think Aiden posted online, and I just saw like one frame of it. I'm like, oh my god, I want that. That's amazing. But then when actually I got a copy and I was paging through it, it feels like if like Rhino or Light in the Attic did a retrospective of a punk band, and this was like the insert, because it's just this really like most bands wouldn't do that for themselves or couldn't do that for themselves. And not too many people are making fanzines like this, so it's very unique and it's great. So were you always good at? I mean, have you been taking photographs for a long time, or did you just?
Yeah, but I've never considered myself a photographer, so it's cool to hear you guys say that.
So you just flip out your phone and take those pictures?
No, I mean I bring my camera to shows and stuff, but it's not like a nice camera or anything. I'm just like
really,
I'm just doing it like as a hobby mainly. So
No, you're from Tacoma?
Redmond.
Redmond.
Said, yeah.
Redmond. What was the first show you went to in Seattle?
Ooh, first show I went to in Seattle. My introduction to Seattle punk was definitely through Ground Zero, which is in Bellevue. But
oh, it's okay.
Yeah. Similar sort of thing. But yeah, I saw like Gag and Vex there. That was like my first real punk show, I guess. And then that kind of led to me coming out to shows at. I remember my first show at Nuthole was like shortly after I started going to Ground Zero. I thought it was like the most fucking disgusting place on the planet.
So the first time you went to Nuthole, were you going with someone who knew where it was, or did you have to find it? Okay.
Yeah, I was going with a couple of friends who had been there before. I think it was a bricklayer show.
Okay.
But yeah, I thought it was like fucked up at first. Like, yo, what's this like disgusting little sewer basement?
Like scared of what's going on.
Totally. But now it's like a second home, so it's sweet.
And then now you are underage. You're under 21, right?
Yeah.
So you can only go to all ages shows.
Yeah. But I'm very.
Which are the best kind of shows.
No, I mean, I'm not saying anything bad about that. But I think it's awesome that you're able to, get such amazing photographs and put everything together. So who is all, for our listeners, who all is interviewed in the first issue?
In the first issue, it's Ian, to my right, and Chad Buckley from Lysol. And then there's other photographs from different bands, illustrations, and then we've got issue 2 coming out pretty soon here.
And then is there anyone who's contributing, or is it all just you?
Like in terms of creating it?
Content-wise,
no, it's all just me.
it's all just you. Is it going to stay that way?
For the time being, yeah. We'll see how things develop because issue 3 will take place in Chicago. So.
All right. Now, when you were asking people to interview them and work on this, did you have the feeling that everyone actually thought you were going to go through with this? Just because a lot of times people have projects and things like, I'm going to make this really awesome photo zine that's going to be great, and then they don't follow through.
I'm not sure. I guess that's a question for Ian. Did you think I was going to follow through?
You kind of had to, didn't you, for school?
Yeah.
True, yeah. Okay.
I had to turn the shit in for a grade.
Well, holy shit! So wait, what was the grade?
No, I got an A on it.
Yeah, okay.
Nice.
You also
but my art teacher's also a weirdo. So.
Are there any other punk kids in your school?
Yeah, my best friend Daniel.
Okay. Is he in the class?
Yeah, he was in there too.
What did he do for his project? Painting?
Oh man.
Paint
Honestly,
a window.
when I wasn't working on this, which was I worked on this mainly at home, so I just fucked around with him in art class most of the time. We just drew Bart Simpson on paper over and over again
Classic.
for a whole year.
Yeah.
So,
did all the other students see your project?
yeah, and I mean it's kind of tough.
Were they all jealous and pissed that they didn't have such a?
But what did they think of it? Were
a
they
lot of them were really talented painters and stuff, so it wasn't. it wasn't like, damn, I wish I could do that, but
okay, but
that's
how?
the same thing,
But how many people are going to see those paintings? I mean, how many people saw this fanzine versus how many people?
More than 100.
Oh yeah, totally. But it's I don't know. I would say it's kind of different because they can't relate to it as much not in the scene. But yeah.
So did anyone say to you why don't you just do a website, or did anyone give you any sass or anything like that?
No, not
okay.
really. But they probably thought that behind my back because I didn't do jack shit in class.
Yeah.
they're all slaving away over their paintings all year long.
I'm surprised you didn't interview Bart Simpson.
Yeah.
So now, how does Good Person Records come into the equation?
For as far as Disruptor?
Yeah.
Man, Eric and I saw that when it came out, and both were immediately blown away. Flipping through that thing, it's immediate. It's eye candy. It's incredible. It's not only is the photography incredible, is the layout incredible, but just the design of everything. The thing is so.
The aesthetic is just on point. We both saw it. We're just whoa, blown away.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? So I always hate it when NPR has cooking shows because I think it's really stupid, and I just think it's funny that we're spending so much time describing something that you have to see it to really understand.
You should buy Disruptor
just buy
at the
Disruptor.
next local all ages
just hit,
show.
Yeah, hit pause and then buy this. So anyway, so you two saw this.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. I mean, I think, man, I don't know, maybe we spent a day or so with it, just going through it, and we're just man, I would be so thrilled if this kid was way down to contribute his aesthetic to Good Person in any way, shape, or form.
It was kind of cosmic. I feel like Ian and I both on our own, like, were scheming, approaching Lucas. And then, like, a weekend later, Ian was like, Lucas approached me and asked about, like, contributing to Good Person. And I was like, all right, done deal. Let's do this thing.
Totally.
And so, I mean, how many people out of the blue approached you? Because I know, I mean, I had never met you, and I saw this, and I stalked you online. And asked if you wanted to trade.
You know, yeah, there were.
I think I said I asked if you wanted to buy, and then you offered to trade, or something like that. I can remember.
Something like that, yeah. There were a few people right around that time. I think a lot of it stemmed from Aiden posting it because he's just got like a big like Reese Graph fanboy crowd. But in fact, recently, what's been really cool is I posted it online again or something, like reblogged it, and then some like zine Tumblr account in Mexico reblogged it, and now I'm getting like a couple international orders. Like some kid from Brazil wants a couple copies.
That's
someone from
so
Texas
sweet.
wants a couple copies. So like I've got to figure out how to like ship shit
to
other countries.
What about the Sub Pop situation?
Oh, the Sub Pop thing, yeah. Well, that actually kind of stemmed like that came about before I even ended up before I even got these back from Maiden, but. I applied for the Sub Pop Loser Scholarship this year, and submitted a bunch of imagery from this and other photography and poster design stuff that I work on, and they were just totally into it. And they ended up awarding me like $7,000 towards my tuition next year, which is
that's fucking
super
awesome.
helpful, yeah.
Like the coolest shit.
Yeah. I mean, I've always seen them like post that. I never actually met someone who won. It's really congratulations. That's really awesome.
Appreciate it. Yeah.
So did you tell your parents? Like, what did your parents say when you told them that you got $7,000?
They were psyched because fucking tuition is
Insane. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's definitely a huge help, and I'm appreciative of Sub Pop for that opportunity.
So now, what's kind of the history of Good Person Records?
Man, Good Person Records is something that I had been scheming, planning on wanting to do for a long time, maybe about 2-3 years or so. And I think
okay, so tons of people want to do a record label. What was the thing that actually like it started happening? Like what was the catalyst to make it actually happen?
There was a lot of philosophy behind it that helped spring it forward, but I think the one turning point that was like, this label has to happen, it has to happen now, is because local band Display, I was fortunate enough to have the opportunity to record their most recent record, and Jim, who plays bass in the band, approached me and he was like, I don't know, man, I think like, you know, cause they wanted to put it out on vinyl, but they didn't know how to do that, and they didn't want to wait very long, and they were like, I think we're gonna put out a tape maybe of this record that we did with you, but we don't really know what to do with it. And I think they had already been sitting on it for a number of months, and I think they were itching to get it out. And I was like, I don't want this to just slip under the rug. I don't want this to just like them to put it out and not get noticed or whatever. I was like, I want to do everything in my power to help get this record out, because that album is like such an important album to me. One of my favorite albums of all time, and one of the most influential albums to me, also of all time. That record is mind-blowing, and so I feel fortunate enough that I could have had a hand in putting it out. Yeah, I guess that was like the real catalyst for like, okay, it's time to start doing a label for sure.
So now, so the order of events was you opened Office Space.
Yeah.
And then you started recording bands there.
Immediately, yeah.
Okay, so had you been recording bands before that?
Yeah, few and far between. I mean, it was mostly like I had done some stuff for friends. I had done a lot of solo stuff. And then I had this weird, crazy apartment situation right before Office Space where I was able to play music and record bands there.
Wait, in an apartment building?
Well, it was a total shithole. Like
that's pretty awesome.
It was like, this is an artist collective, but it really just meant everybody got wasted all the time in a building that was full of rats and bed bugs.
Were any of them good painters?
No painters.
Oh, really?
Maybe some graffiti artists, maybe?
Those other artists, those non-painting artists that we've heard so much about.
Totally. So I'd recorded a few bands there, but yeah, jumping into Office Space was definitely like throwing myself in the fire as far as like recording live bands, and as often as I ended up doing it too.
So now, is it weird that you record and also started putting stuff out? Because does that like make a because not every band has an idea where the recording is going to when they start recording? Like, is there like a feeling in the air? Like sometimes that like maybe someone wants you to record and put out the record.
I haven't had that yet. It makes perfect sense to me because it starts there, it ends there, you know?
Yeah.
And like, because I work with so many bands all the time on the regular, I'm so involved with artists that come through as far as like hearing their music and hearing what's new and hearing what's being created, and am fortunate to be like keen on all sorts of different sounds and wind up finding all sorts of things interesting. Yeah.
And I also, like, over the past year had been, like, thinking about starting a label, knew that I wanted to do it sometime in the future, and then we met up and realized we both wanted to do the same thing.
And, like, shared, like, the whole interest in Display's album. It just made sense. Yeah.
And we just have a pretty similar interest in music in general, so we
Totally.
don't really butt heads when we're trying to decide who we want to put out. It's like pretty easy to be like, yes, we like that band. Like,
And if you're listening right now and don't know about Erica's band Casual Hex, just push pause, go back a few episodes, and there's a really fantastic episode there. And then now you're all back. You've all listened to that and come back.
and we fully recovered from the car accident.
Oh my god, all that car accident talk. I forgot about that. There was a lot of car accident talk. So what are some of the bands that you have put out?
On Good Person?
Yeah.
So we have a pretty short list right now. Good Person's only been around for
4 months or so.
4 or 5 months. We put out the Display record time and time again, or I should say album, because it came out on cassette, and is only available on cassette as of right now. And then after that, we reissued the album Fountain 2 from our good friends in Victoria, BC, who play in a band called Fountain. And after that, we just released a compilation piece that contains a 7-inch plus 3 additional tracks for a band from Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada, called Tunic. So 3 right now. And we've got, I think, about the rest of the year's stuff all lined up.
Yeah.
And also distributing a couple of other things.
Totally.
Yeah, we're distributing all the old Health Problems merch and the Disruptor issue 1.
And we're issuing, I guess, or distributing Disruptor 2
Yeah.
soon.
I guess we'll be issuing that.
Issuing that,
Yeah.
totally.
And so if folks wanted to find you on the internet?
Yeah, goodpersonrecordings.com.
We also have a Facebook page.
But-
Instagram, we have all the social media outlets.
Just go to the website. Get straight to the point.
And so how would you distinguish yourself versus other labels?
I think... mostly, I think the idea that Erica and I had really like in doing a label before we had even started was, I think both of us throughout our lives have had friends that have made such incredible music that really never gets credited and never really comes to light. And it was very important with me in doing a label that it was like to take music that maybe isn't in the cool crowd, or maybe doesn't get all the write-ups all the time, or whatever isn't always immediately accessible, but is like incredible shit, like deserves to get put out and should be put out.
And unique.
Yeah, it's like very, like what's important to me is to keep the ball rolling in music. I really grow tired of like tradition and things just being the same thing over and over again, and rehashing shit and worshiping shit and just being these rehashed hack bands. I really appreciate when a band takes their influences and digests them and really tries to transform them into something new and original and unique, and be daring to try something that is not as easily understood or digestible to create something new, contribute to the ball rolling. Yeah.
So now you don't have to name names, but now you have recorded several really fantastic bands. I know you've recorded Miami Longlegs, SSDD.
Mm-hmm.
You recorded Nail Polish too, right?
Yeah, 2 of the
And,
releases.
Yeah, and so so I know you have a track record of a lot of great bands. Have bands that you're not into approached you and asked you to record them, and have you done it?
Oh, and asked me to record them or
Just
put them out?
No, just record them.
Yeah, I don't really say no to bands.
Okay.
I'll give a shot.
You record anybody.
Yeah,
I mean, within
Yeah, there are bands that if they ask me to record them again, I might be hesitant to.
Okay.
Like I'm you might just say you might want to practice a bit more before you come back into the studio. But
So it's not an aesthetic thing. It's having their shit together thing.
no, I mean everybody's aesthetic I think is worthwhile, even if it's not one that I agree with.
Okay. That's just curious.
Yeah.
Just because, I mean, Office Space is not a traditional recording studio.
By any means, yeah.
And, I mean, you have shows there, and so I'm sure that scheduling must be kind of strange.
Yeah, and it's like, it's 5 people's dwelling space, so it's like, you gotta like clear everything with everybody and make sure everybody stays happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another part of our label, though, that I think sets us apart from other labels is that we donate a portion of our profits to different social justice causes.
Interesting.
And
I didn't know that.
Totally. This year, we're donating to the Refugee Women's Alliance in Seattle, and yeah, that's a huge part of like a huge motivation too to start the label. I've been wanting to like give back in a bigger way too, and it's really cool that we're able to like put out music that we think is important and also like contribute to a cause that we think is important at the same time.
And I think it's important too to realize that like just within like making music, putting out bands, recording bands, like whatever it is, like you contain yourself in this little like artistic bubble.
Yeah.
And which is great because I think it can be a great escape to a great way to escape like the outside world and give yourself some solace and something beautiful and creative. But at the same time, to escape that all the time and not realize what's going on in the world around you and not contribute to it to like in a positive way just becomes ignorance. And so I think with creating artwork and putting out artwork, the proliferation of artwork, we can also help give back and benefit our species and our environment.
Totally. And a little bit about the Refugee Women's Alliance. They it's down off of like where Rainier and MLK split pretty much. And they offer tons of amazing services for refugees and their families, like ESL classes, daycare. They even have affordable housing in that area, like
That's
attached to their
amazing.
facility. Like tons and tons of different services.
Yeah, that is a dope program.
Yeah.
How did you folks find those folks?
Through JJ, who
Yeah.
plays drums and bats. She
Yeah,
was doing
totally.
some volunteering with them for a while. Turned
Oh.
us onto them.
Is that the first charity or organization that you've donated to?
Yeah, we're gonna switch it up, I think, on a yearly basis. So this year it's the Refugee Women's Alliance. Next year it'll be something.
And we'll only donate to them either maybe every 6 months or like maybe it'll turn out to be just one check at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Well, it depends on how much we make.
Yeah. It'd be weird if like every week you're just like, okay, so we sold 2 tapes.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sure there's like ups and downs. So are you, when it comes to distributing non-music items, are you stopping with Disruptor?
That's kind of a new territory. We're kind of figuring that out, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know why we would limit ourselves from doing something like that, but
I guess I was asking if there's something else. If there's something else. Or
yeah,
that's it right now.
I don't think that's necessarily the intention to,
Yeah.
but like with something like with Disruptor, it was hard to turn away from that because it was something so incredible.
Yeah. So why'd you pick Chicago?
I'd done a pre-college program at the Art Institute of Chicago in 2014 and really kind of fell in love with the school and the city. So that was kind of a natural
When
choice.
you were there in the summer or the winter?
I was there in the summer.
Oh,
Yeah. I have been there in the winter.
Okay, all right. So you've had to.
Yeah, I know what I'm getting into.
Yeah.
So I'll be.
It's fucking horrible.
Yeah.
I grew up in Cleveland, which has a very
Yeah.
similar.
Oh, crazy.
climate. Yeah, and the wind comes off the lake and just cuts right through you and kills you. It's horrible.
It's intense.
Yeah. So that's good that you've been there.
Yeah.
And you at least have a taste of it.
Mm-hmm.
So what are you going to be doing there besides going to school?
Besides going to school, learning the scene there through another issue of this probably, going to shows.
Start a band.
Start a band, yeah.
Live the rock and roll lifestyle.
My band here behind gotta find some new music to play.
Bigger checks to cut.
Oh, yeah.
Bigger crowds to please.
Always. So yeah, it'll be an interesting new adventure, and I'm excited for that. I'm excited to see where this continues there. The school has a risograph printer.
Oh, does it really?
So
Holy
I
shit!
can keep that up.
That's crazy.
That's so amazing.
Yeah, that's.
How did you find that out? Like, did you just ask?
Yeah,
or just-
I just. In fact, it was actually when I was like Googling
Bart Simpson?
Like no, like just yes, but also
it wasn't Bart Simpson on a skateboard. It was
no, but I was googling like tutorials for risograph printing.
Yeah.
And I was like scrolling through this PDF of like information about risographs, and then realized the URL was like on the SAIC website. I was like, oh, they have like a full risograph setup there. So the service bureau, which is like the print for the school, has like a setup there. So hoping I can continue something.
Pumping those zines out.
Yeah.
That's really amazing. That's such a
I'm
weird
psyched.
coincidence.
Excited about that for sure.
So, in the past 3 or 4 months, what has changed for Casual Hacks?
Let's see.
Big news. Big stuff.
Yeah, there's some
Huge.
stuff happening. We're working on. It seems like it's taking a century, but maybe it's only been a couple months. But we're working on like a full length album.
Yeah. Working on writing songs, or working on recording.
Writing still, yeah. We're like a little past halfway done, I think.
Side A's done.
Yeah,
Now
but
it's time for Side B.
we've already been playing the songs out too. We played a couple shows now. But we're actually going to Europe.
Holy shit.
And when I say we, I hate to say that Jesse isn't coming with us, unfortunately.
Visa problems. Wanted by Interpol.
Yeah.
Totally, yeah.
I
Unfortunately, a 9-to-5 job.
Oh, okay.
But so Jessie, unfortunately, is sitting this one out, but she'll come out with us there eventually. And actually, Ian is gonna fill in on bass.
Interesting.
So we'll be flying out to Barcelona first week of October, and we'll be there for 3 weeks, doing a little European stint.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah. So kind of been like, we got asked to play this festival in like February. And it sounded like it was totally random and sounded like an insane opportunity. So since then, of course, we've never toured over there, so I didn't have very many connections.
Yeah.
So since that happened, I was like, okay, like how can I make this work? So literally since like the end of February, I've been trying to find like a driver, backline, a booker, all the things. And it wasn't until like maybe a month or two ago that I finally found a driver with backline out of Barcelona, and got a route, a proposed route. It took a while, but
can you look up to see their driving history? To see the access
honestly,
I guess this guy does it as like
they have like a
service.
Totally, they have like a nice van with like a full backline to choose from.
Some Mercedes,
yeah,
it's got a bed
Sprinter. But yeah, so he also books shows
Does he know
too.
about your bad luck? Did you have to disclose?
Maybe I should let him know.
Yeah,
We'll
did
do
he
like
look
a
up your driving record?
yeah, right.
Just like send him like clippings of all like the police blotters.
Listen, we're gonna do a smudging
Send him
of
pieces of the car.
of the van before clear my energy, and it'll be fine. It'll be smooth sailing. Yeah, but yeah, I literally over the past couple months, I've been working with him to sort of utilize any connection I can think of to try and help him book these like 20 shows basically.
Yeah.
So still work in progress as far as booking the shows, but we got a couple months here. It's all gonna work out. Plane tickets are booked. We're doing it.
Damn, we got plane tickets for so cheap.
Yeah, this was insane. This was a steal.
Seattle to Barcelona. Take a guess.
$1,000.
Take another guess.
800.
Take another guess.
Okay, now we're done with that game.
All right, 598.
That's really good.
Pretty sick.
That's pretty good. It was funny. I was gonna be like, okay, it's gonna be low, and so I almost said 500. But how much Spanish do you speak? How much French do you speak? How much Portuguese do you speak? Do you speak any language besides English?
I know like a good amount of Spanish.
Okay, that's good.
But
wait, so the festival's in Barcelona?
No, the
No,
festival's in France.
The festival's in France.
Yeah.
So we're fucked.
Yeah.
Jeez. What was I gonna say? Fuck. I was just thinking about terrorist acts, and I got distracted.
Oh yeah.
So this festival, are any other bands playing that you? Can you say? Are there other bands playing that you know? Or can you say?
Yeah, it's actually interesting. The actual festival is more like electronic based,
Europe
style.
Tortoise
Little
is
discotheque.
playing.
Oh, that's good.
And what were some of the other ones that stood out? Like Ariel Pink played it last year, I think.
Oh, yeah. I guess I was also wondering how specifically did you get asked? They just heard your music.
You know, I still haven't even asked the person.
Isn't it
Like,
just
don't do that because maybe they're thinking of a different.
for a second, I was like, whoa. I wonder, like, back in the day, I had, like, one track up that was, like, an electronic thing that I did that was Casual Hex, and I was like, what if, for, like, some weird reason they heard that?
Yeah, but if they're booking a
No,
band
they
off
know.
of one
They
track, then they're fucking asking for this. One track.
Listen, you never know.
Yeah.
That would be so funny, though, if we showed up and they thought we were a different band.
Oh man,
Sorry.
What's the fest called?
Soy Fest,
Soy Fest.
Yeah.
Soy Fest?
sponsored
I-
by Soylent.
Yes, Soylent Green.
Yeah.
Oh,
No, it's
don't,
not
Don't
actually.
don't go to the food truck that they have.
Yeah, right. I'm actually really interested to ask the person, like, where did you hear about this?
We'll
Wait
till
till
we're
you get the
overseas.
check.
I was like, yeah,
Wait till you
when we
get
get there
there,
and it's a
plan
scam
for-
and it's,
Yeah.
like, actually not really a festival.
Oh, is it just a weird
So-
soy festival and like you're just like a house?
It's
band?
actually a soy festival.
Yeah.
They thought we were soy distributors.
It's a bunch of farmers.
Yeah.
Just hanging out.
And like soy-based zines.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Edible.
totally.
Yeah.
Soy-based everything. Gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so we're gonna go to commercial break. We're gonna pay some bills, and then we'll be right back. Okay, we are back from commercial break.
That was a long one.
We got to pay the bills. My guests are the folks from Good Person Records and the publisher of Disruptor fanzine. Disruptor 2, when it hits the stands,
Disruptor 2.
what's going to be in it?
Disruptor 2 is hitting the stands August 1st at Office Space.
Well, that's
A couple days.
Quick.
Is that Saturday?
That is Monday.
Monday, yeah.
Monday, yeah. It's the damn. What does Chad have that officially filled as?
I think it's Minx.
It's Mink's Control Test and Kids Menu.
Yeah.
Kids Menu's last show.
One
Kids
more
Menu.
band, right?
You're in Kids Menu, aren't you?
Yeah. Want to go on a tangent real quick?
What tangent? What? I mean, you could just tell the listeners what your band is like.
Kids Menu is a. Oh man, how can we nail down that sound? I guess it's synth punk mixed with.
What's the instrumentation?
It's me on synth and vocals. Also another synth, bass and drums. Yeah, I guess it's kind of post-punky synth based, but also kind of like haunted evil dance party. A little bit.
Maybe a touch of aggression.
A touch of aggression for sure.
Slightly abrasive.
Mm-hmm.
Are you the type of band that like plays really aggressive music, but then in between songs you're all smiles and like thanking the crowd?
They're called Kids Menu.
yeah, you know what? I asked a stupid
Honestly,
question.
that name was such a joke, and like I was very opposed at first. She's like, "This doesn't match what we're doing like whatsoever."
It's perfect.
That was Daniel's like stupid fucking idea.
Yeah. Call them out on air.
Oh yeah.
The thing is, what band would be correctly called Kids Menu? Like,
No,
what
it's
style of
the
music would that
stupidest thing
fit?
in the world. I don't know.
Very wiggly. Sponsored by McDonald's.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. So much of what Daniel like wants to do is like very like joke based. I'm like, I'm trying to like have a serious band here, dude. But,
Yeah.
It would be crazy if for your you released a tape and then it came in a Happy Meal box, like I don't know if they even
The
do
box
those.
set.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna print T-shirts with Pluto the dog on them,
Oh.
which is like very
Kids Menu has.
It's very Kids Menu-esque, but like if you listen to music, it's just like, what the fuck does this have to do with anything? But,
So do you have songs like Small Fry,
Oh, yeah.
Hamburger?
of course.
Small fry.
Actually,
Value.
there is a kids menu at
10-piece nugget.
no, at like an Asian restaurant when they have like hot dogs, French
Oh,
fries.
yeah.
When they just they put like for kids who won't eat
Mhm.
rice, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I always think it's really funny. So kids menu's playing.
Kids Menu is playing that show.
Can we listen to a track?
Yeah, go
Gary?
ahead.
Maybe
Gary?
we'll have
you
Gary
got a
queued up.
track? Gary's got a track.
Analyzing heart rhythm. Stay clear of patients. Analyzing heart rhythm. Shock advised. Stay clear of patient. Shock delivered.
Oh, that was really good.
Dude.
Yeah.
That was really nice.
So sick.
Excellent.
Appreciate it, guys. Yeah, so we just put out new recording yesterday. Recorded it and put it out yesterday at the same time. Got it all.
Was it live? Was it live stream? or what's the
Live
Facebook
to
thing?
Facebook?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could see.
That's the
I
only
could see
format
Bono-
it's released on is social media.
I could see Bono doing like a solo record that way. Like,
Yeah.
Oh, I'm just gonna play live on Facebook for all my friends.
Dude,
Yeah.
you're gonna be out of a job soon. Actual recording work. It's all going
Ooh.
social now, buddy.
Oh,
Damn.
it sounds so good. Yeah, it
fucked.
sounds so great.
Yeah, so that was fun to do. That'll be our last show on August 1st.
Office
Which
Space.
is Bittersweet, Office Space, Control Test, Minx,
Disruptor 2.
Disruptor 2. Disruptor 2 features two main write-ups. One is related to the Save Ground Zero movement,
Awesome.
and the other is an interview with the new all-female hardcore band Lowest Priority.
Oh, cool. I don't know. So who are those folks?
Are they Olympia?
They are Seattle.
Oh, they're Seattle.
That is, oh man, I'm not even gonna try and.
Were they in bands before this, or is this?
I think it's a lot of like relatively new
Oh, cool.
musicians, which is really cool.
How did you find? I mean, did you see them play, or?
Yeah, I've seen them play a couple times, but also just friends, mutual friends. I think they're doing sick stuff and advocating for women in hardcore, which is really important.
Cool.
And yeah, speaking out about a lot of
Important
things.
topics.
So yeah, it was good to have them. And then a bunch more photos, lots of shiny new content.
Is it actually done yet?
It's done. It is in Aiden's hands now.
Have you seen the final product yet?
I've seen the final product on like my end, but I haven't seen the
Oh, gotcha.
what Aiden's got.
Does it take? Does it have to dry, or does it dry?
No,
quickly?
and it actually like it stays a little smudgy, which is kind of annoying, just because of the soy-based ink. It's just kind of in that.
So it does have to dry.
It does. Yeah, it does have to dry a little bit, but the
Like, okay, so I guess so. I'm asking is like, so do they get printed off and put in a pile, or do they have to like hang on?
no,
like, a clothes
they
line?
get printed off and put in a pile, but
Okay.
and then I fold all of them and staple all of them.
Arduous
That sucks.
process.
That's
Yeah,
really-
it's definitely a process, but yeah, it's in Aiden's hands. They should be done by the end of the week. We can have a little folding party, and
Nice.
we're good to go. Yeah.
So now Casual Hex is going to Europe in October, right before the election.
I know.
Yeah, we
I'm
were
sure-
so-
I'm sure
we were-
every European is gonna bring this up to you.
Oh,
We
I'm
were like
sure.
really hoping that there was some way we could stay in Europe for longer,
Just
so the
in
election
case-
could
Just in
happen
case
and we could
anything
just
crazy
miss our
happens, yeah.
flight.
Yeah.
Just stay overseas.
And we'll never come back, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, though, I'll be in the South for the election, so wish me luck.
Why are you gonna be in the South?
Right after we get back from that tour, I'm going on another tour
With Big Bite.
with Big Bite.
Oh, very good. So, Ian, you were in a band called Health Problems.
This is
which
true.
Is suspended on long-term hiatus.
Man, I wish I knew.
Okay, bass player moved away, right?
Bass player moved away. Drummer moved to Olympia to go to school.
And you did like a pretty intense tour right before that.
Oh, it was just a month. Yeah, totally.
Okay, but I guess then I feel you played like in Seattle a whole bunch.
Yeah, I mean, we just kind of like were trying to get in as many gigs as we could before we were done, or at least we thought we were done.
Yeah.
I think we'll always continue to be a band. As far as like that being a main priority, I think that'll constantly be shifting, or like probably constantly shifting away from that. Dan and David and I all are all incredibly passionate people with our passions directed in totally different directions. And so when we can find time to actually get together and write new music, record new music, play out new music is very few and far between. So it's just kind of like sheer happenstance when we all have time to sync our schedules.
So besides being a ringer for Casual Hacks, what other musical things are you doing right now?
I have a project called Beret that I guess I debuted in October of 2015 that got put out on Victoria, BC label, bass label called Gary Cassettes. Beret right now really only exists as sort of like a studio project. I work as an audio engineer, so pretty much when I'm not recording other bands' music, I'm recording my own music. And Beret was kind of just all of that coming to fruition. And so I finished the second record, and I'm now just sort of like figuring out what I'm going to do.
Do you have any interest in playing live and bringing like?
Yeah, I played live in Victoria once, and then I played live in Seattle once. But those were like kind of one-off like art installations.
Yeah.
They weren't so much a very like traditional band performing at a venue.
Different from anything from the record either.
Yeah, I guess it's a piece based off a track that's on this second record that I finished a couple months ago. And I'm just kind of like figuring out what I'm going to do as far as putting it out. Maybe we'll put it out on Good Person. Maybe it'll come out on a different label.
You're telling me about that.
Yeah, gotta okay it first.
Yeah, totally.
Do you two have like a regular schedule, like let's do the business schedule?
Oh, holy fuck,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
totally. Our lives are
24/7.
so
Okay, so it's just
insanely
constantly
regimented.
doing it. It's not
It's
like I mean,
whatever.
do you have like every Tuesday this happens and every Thursday this happens?
It's more like 2 or 3 times a week.
It's
we'll
like
sit
whenever,
You have time.
whenever we have time, pretty
Okay.
much. Before the actual website came out, we were like, the night before, we literally stayed up all night.
to finish, just finishing
Yeah.
touches.
And literally since the website was released,
Yeah.
we've just been like going at it since then with...
Like just an incredible amount of productivity, not sleeping, lots of caffeine, getting sick, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
What was one of the biggest like holy shit, I can't believe that just happened, that sucks catastrophe moments?
You know, I think the worst thing maybe, or the most difficult thing, was J-card issues, printing maybe.
Yeah, it's just tricky. Like one layout tells you one thing, and a different layout tells you another thing, and then when it gets to the printer, they have a different idea, and their printer has a different idea from their idea.
Yeah,
So-
and we want to make sure that the J cards are the highest quality because
Just like everything's got to be professional as fuck.
Yeah.
I don't think our ethos is not to cut corners in any way, shape, or form.
totally, we
so.
treat it as if it's our own music. So like, how would we want it to look, you know? But aside from the J cards, what was the other thing that I was thinking of that was an issue?
Most everything seems
Oh,
pretty
just
chill.
like our abilities with Photoshop and Illustrator are kind of minimal. So like, just a lot of learning curves
Are you
with
looking for
that
interns?
design.
They kind of got one. Mr. Lucas Rife. Yeah.
I think we
Besides...
finally figured it out though.
Yeah.
We have formula down now.
Aside from being incredibly, like, nauseatingly busy all day, every day, I think everything with the label has been pretty smooth sailing.
Yeah. It was cool. We had our first, like, demo submission.
Whoa.
Man, okay, there's this band from Calgary, up in Canada called Crack Cloud. It's a newer band. That is insane, incredible. They dropped, like, I think it's like an EP or something.
Yeah.
A couple months ago, and I got a lot of friends up in Canada, and Erica does too, and like a lot of my friends could not stop talking about it. It was like I couldn't stop hearing about Crack Cloud, And then we listened to it, and it blew our minds. And then a friend of ours, Nick Mers, who plays in Dardo, went up and played a festival with them in Calgary and saw them. And he was like, that was one of the best live bands I've seen. And so it was really cool that they had reached out to us around the same time we were hearing about them and listening to them. And
was it just a polite email?
yeah, they were really into... I mean, I think they had heard about us because we reissued Fountain's second album. And I think, that had turned them on to Good Person, and they were really into the philanthropic aspect of our label and stood behind a lot of the same philosophy. And so it kind of seemed natural to work with them and putting out some stuff,
Yeah. So that's one of the upcoming releases.
Yeah.
Well, are there any other upcoming releases that you can talk about? Or is everything...
Yeah, there's, I guess, this is probably like 6 months ago, maybe longer. I saw this band from Switzerland play at the Black Lodge with Nail Polish.
Oh, was it fucking...
Marauder.
Yeah, they're really good.
Were you
Incredible.
there?
I was there, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There was 2 bands on tour.
But they shared members.
They shared members, and the other band had a record, and Marauder didn't have a record.
Right.
And I loved the other band, but Marauder was better, and I asked them, they didn't have anything.
Totally.
We're trying to solve that problem.
Yeah, great. They were fan. Oh my god, they were so good.
I know, weren't they amazing? Yeah.
They just put out a new thing not too long ago, too.
Okay.
Yeah, they have 2 tapes, I guess. So what we're gonna do is actually make a compilation of both the tapes.
Oh,
They're
awesome.
both like album length, so
Yeah,
it'll be like a
yeah.
double album kind of thing.
Totally. And
that's like in the 80s when they used to have tapes that was like 2 Ozzy Osbourne tape, on like one on each side, super value,
Yeah.
You got Blizzard of Oz on side A, and then you got Diary of a Madman on side B.
2 in 1.
2 in 1, yeah.
But we were really hoping that we would, because we're playing in Geneva, where they're from, and we were really hoping we'd be able to book a show with them, but
The vocalist, I think?
the vocalist, the main vocalist, they're going to be out of town,
That's fantastic. Yeah, they were fantastic, and I was really bummed that they didn't have anything that I could buy. But the other band's record, which I listened to, and it's really good too. I can't think of their name.
I can't remember the name either.
Yeah,
they were really good too.
So now, when you go over to Europe, how are you going to bring a bunch of merch with you?
Ooh, this is the gray area.
See,
are you going to put stickers on everything that says?
we have
only?
to. We have to bring the gear.
Yeah, no.
I'm sorry,
merch.
the merch,
Yeah.
not the gear.
My from going to Canada so often
Yeah.
to play shows, my intuition is like that's fucked. Like
Yeah.
you don't do that.
Because you have to pay taxes or pay something weird.
Right.
And
So
to
can't
me-
you just say they're off promo, or do they wise up? To
Well,
that scheme?
I think it depends on how shitty of a day the border person is, and I worry about I don't know. I just stress about the whole thing.
But the
Phil,
thing
yeah, they
is,
can just seize it all, then you're done.
And then you're out of merch, or they'll just
Right.
turn you around and ban you for 5 years, which is not an uncommon thing.
okay, my plan is what we're gonna do is
Pack a suitcase.
pack a suitcase with all of it. I have a friend who's toured Europe 14 times. He says he does it every time and hasn't had a problem. So I'm gonna cross my fingers and hope that that's okay.
Kosher.
Because it has to be. We try, the time frame to get something put out over there was a little too tight.
Yeah.
So
Which is weird. Yeah, they couldn't even get somebody to put out a tape or anything. So
yeah,
we might have shirts done over there or something.
Yeah.
Do folks in Europe buy as much tapes as they do in America?
Not sure.
I hope so.
I know they have a bigger. I think they have an even bigger customer basis or whatever for vinyl, but I have no idea about cassette tapes.
Okay.
So
That's curious.
I would think so.
I would hope so.
Yeah.
We'll find out.
Yeah, we'll let you know.
So when you folks go to get coffee, where do you like to get coffee?
Not a coffee guy.
You don't drink coffee?
Yeah, there's a couple places. I like Broadcast on 19th and Yesway. Mostly because I like to just drink coffee in Pratt Park.
Yeah.
There's a cool amphitheater by that coffee shop too. And then if I feel like coming out of the cave and being social, I'll go to Cafe Vita just on the hill because I'll always run into people that I know, shoot the shit.
Yeah, I was talking to someone the other day about Pike and Pine, and they're like, "I never even go there anymore." I'm like, "Well, I go to Cafe Vita."
Yeah, totally. That might be the only spot, the Nut Hole and Cafe Vita, or maybe Cockpit if they have a show.
Yeah, no, I think well, is there anything else that you folks want to address? Need to address? Any scoops that we can have?
Scoops. I don't think I have a single scoop for ya.
Scoops, I don't know when this is going to come out, but the Rakta show on Saturday is going to be tight, so come see Rakta.
Where are they playing it?
Black Lodge.
Very good. Okay, that's been another week of Access on Purpose. Keep one finger on the pause button, one foot in the grave, and fuck you for listening.